Hello, hello, and welcome to the very first issue of our new series called Nonprofit Tech Tools. We're super excited to launch this series. It's something that a lot of folks have been asking us. We always get asked about technology tools, software, online tools, all that stuff. So we decided to create this new series. It's going to be mostly video based. We're going to show you what it is. Super excited. Issue number one today we're going to talk about is image editing. And we're talking about image editing because it is something that a lot of the clients I work with, a lot of the organizations that I work with struggle with. It's very difficult to use many of the programs, and so we wanted to start with image editing. We wanted to give you that quick bang for your buck. So to start out, let's talk about what are the goals of the Nonprofit Tech Tools series. Number one is introduce you to new technology tools. We want you to help you do your job. We want to help make your life a little bit easier, and we feel technology can do that. Many times, some technology tools are difficult to learn, or there's so many options out there, you don't know, where to start. So we're going to try and help you with that. We also want to show you why and how to use the tool. So it's not enough for us to say, hey, you should go check out this new tool. We want to show you, and we're going to do that through video so you can actually see us using the tools, kind of why we do it, how we do it, and why you might want to look at doing it as well. So on to our first tool that we're going to review, and that is image editing. We're going to be talking about an online tool called PicMonkey. Now, if you've ever tried to learn Photoshop, you've probably struggled with it. It seems like you need a master's degree in engineering to figure out how to use Photoshop. There is so many buttons, so many bells, so many whistles. It's really overwhelming. There's other tools out there. There's an open source one called GIMP that is kind of like Photoshop, but that's just as difficult to use. And so we always struggled with how do we teach our clients and our workshop attendees how to use image editing, how to edit their images better. And we found a great resource called PicMonkey. It's a free online photo editing tool. It's easy, it's even fun to use. There are free and paid versions, which we really love tools like this. There's a free version that you can use, and it's great. It does the job. If you go to the paid version, then there's no advertisements while you're using the tool, and there's more features and effects. Now, there's no even in the free version, there's no advertisements within your photos once you edit them. It's just while you're editing your photos. So that's the tool that we're going to look at today. So now we're going to jump into a live demo of PicMonkey to kind of show you what we're going to do. And here we are at PicMonkey.com. That's PICmonkey.com. We'll have a link right below this video as well, so you can get to it very easily. And as you can see when you get here, it's a very simple interface. Another great thing about PicMonkey is you don't need to register. You don't need a username and login in order to use this tool. You just get to use it. And you do that by starting with the Edit a Photo button. If we hover over that, it lets us know we can click to open an image or drag an image here. So if we have an image on our desktop, we can just drag that image right over, drop it on this button, it's going to open it up. We're going to use the click to open, and if I click on that, it's going to open up my file upload. I can go find the image I want. We're going to go ahead and use a headshot here, and we're going to make a cool little photo with it. If I double click that, it's going to open up my photo in the PicMonkey editor. And there's a couple things I want to point out on the editor. Number one is your best friend while you're editing photos is usually the undo button. And that's going to be right at the top of the screen here, right here, the undo button. That's important because as you're editing photos, you'll make a mistake, you'll do something you didn't mean to do, and you don't want to start over from scratch. So you can use that undo button to go back a couple steps, get you back to where you were, and then you can try and adjust that photo again. Now, on the left-hand side is where we get into all of our cool effects and adjustments and all that stuff. And what I like about it is PicMonkey really gives you a graphical interpretation of what you're going to do. You don't need to know what the icons mean or that. It's really clear what these are. So the crop, we can easily crop our photos. This is a very common request that I get is, how do I make my images more web friendly? How do I cut down the size? I've uploaded a photo and it's 2,500 pixels wide by 3,000 pixels tall. I don't want to upload that to my website because it's going to slow down my website. So you can crop it. You can come in here, click the crop. You can adjust to take out the area that you want. So I'm going to trim some off the edges here. I go over here, click the apply button. Boom, my photo's cropped. It's a little smaller now. Again, I can always go back and hit undo, and I'm back to my original size. So the crop is super easy. Resizing is another one. So once you've cropped it, you really want to resize your images. So if you uploaded that huge image that's 2,500 pixels wide, you can come in here and resize it. And let's say I want to make an icon here for my Twitter profile. I can go 75 by 75, click apply. I now have a 75 pixel square icon. Super easy to resize, crop, all that stuff. We're going to go undo to that again. So those are some basic things. You can also rotate those images. We can do all kinds of cool stuff there. And then on the left-hand side, there's all these other things you can do with the photos. We can go into the lab section here, the effects, and we can do all kinds of things like do the dusk, and it's going to make that look like it's dusk. We can hit cancel there. We can go into tranquil. We can do all these cool little filters like you would within a Photoshop application. But here it's really easy to see what you're going to get. Now, one thing I will point out too is if you'd see on some of these icons, there's a little crown there. If there's a crown on the effect, that means it's part of the paid application. So you won't be able to use those unless you have the paid version. But look, there's a ton of these on here that are free. In fact, look at this. Quickly, we just made a black and white photo. Very easy to do again, so super fun to play around with. We can always hit cancel on that. There's tons of other effects we can do here. We can do different touch-ups. We can take care of blemishes. If you've got one of those horrible zits right on your favorite prom photo, you can go and clean that up. We can do all kinds of other brushes. We can add text. We can easily add text onto our photos, and we're going to show you how to use that in a moment. That's a really nice one here. We can do kind of funny little call-outs. We can do hearts and doodles. We can add lips onto people. We can do comic bubbles, so we can do some kind of memes. We can have people saying things just by dragging this over here. Oh, that's one of the upgrade ones. So let's go and do one of the free bubbles. So I can make myself saying something here, doing a little speech bubble, and I can put that up there and have me saying some sort of witty thing there if we want to. So again, you can have a lot of fun with this. But what we're going to do today as an example of what to do, and I'm going to go ahead and delete this one here. It doesn't want to delete, so I'm going to put it over to the side. We're not going to worry about that right now. So what we're going to do as an example is we're going to jump into the frame here. We're going to make ourselves a social media profile picture that's a little different. So a lot of times you can just upload a picture like this, and that can be your social media profile. But what we're going to do is we're going to have a little fun with PicMonkey here. And I'm going to go in here, and as you can see, we now have a bunch of different frames that we can use. We can make our picture have rounded corners. We can do a museum mat where it looks like a very fancy picture there. But that's not the one that we're going to use today. We're going to use the Polaroid frame. And this is one of my favorite ones because it's kind of fun. If you're a little older like I am, I'm mid-40s now, and I remember having a Polaroid camera, and you get those really cool spaces. And you have this great area on Polaroid pictures to write something down there. So we're going to use that to our advantage. So here we have 3 different types of Polaroid frames. And you can see it automatically puts it in the Polaroid frame and puts it at this slight tilt. So when you upload that, it's kind of very graphically, visually pleasing. It's going to catch people's eyes, so your profile picture is going to stand out a little bit more. Now we can actually change the rotation on that. We can make it rotate left or right by doing that. So we'll make it rotate right there. We can also choose a couple different Polaroid frames. So here's a grayer one, and here's an old one. So let's go and use the old one and pretend like this is an old photo that you dug out of a shoebox there. It's got some wear and tear on there, so we like how that looks. We're going to hit apply. Now our photo has the Polaroid effect on it. Now that'd be fine right there. We could totally go with that. That would be a very different profile picture than what you're going to see with most people. But you know what? Let's go and add some text on here. Since it is a profile picture, we want to identify ourselves a little bit. So we're going to want to put our name and organization down here. So now let's look through all these look at all these different text options you have. And we're going to scroll down to the section of handwriting, and we're going to try and find some handwriting that I think looks a little like mine, and I got very bad handwriting. So we'll go down here. How about let's go school bell. So we're going to click school bell and then click add text. And now we have a text box here. And I can type in my name, Rich Dietz, and non-profit R plus D. Now obviously we don't want it to go right over my face, so we're going to click it. And then once we do that, we're going to be able to resize it. So we're going to make it a little smaller. And now we can drag it. Oh, one second, just got to get it highlighted here. Drag it down here. And that's close, but it's not really written correctly. It should be a little angle. So we can grab our little twist knob here, rotate that a little bit, resize it, and there we go. We can have black text, we can go red text, we can do any color text we want. I think the black looks pretty good there. And we go boom. So now we've got a profile pic. It's got our name, it's got our organization on there. It's a little bit different. Everything looks great. Let's go ahead and save this. We're going to click save up here. and it's going to ask us what quality we want to save it in. I usually leave it in the middle there, great quality, good file size. We'll give this new test, and then we're going to save this to our computer. It's going to pop up, ask us where we want to save it. We can save it right on our desktop if we want to. Click Save. We've now saved our photo, and if I open it up, we will see that we have a great new profile picture that we can upload to our social media profiles. It looks a little different. It was super easy to do. Really took us a couple minutes. Even with me explaining it, it's only been about 7 minutes of us playing around with this. So that is it. That is PicMonkey. We highly recommend you check out PicMonkey.com and let us know what you think. If this is a great tool, if you use this tool, if you can think of any other tools you would like us to review, just let us know in the comments below this video. Thanks, and see you in the next nonprofit tech tool.